What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the TheSlamDuncan YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the two-game series between the Bulls and the Orlando Magic. Both games were played in Orlando, and the Bulls lost the first game, but they played extremely well in the second game. And I was even talking to my friend David saying that this series, like these two games against the Magic, the first game's going to be close, and the second game's going to be a blowout, and that's exactly what happened. But overall, I think the Bulls were very disappointing in the first game, and then they really did bounce back in the second game. So I'm going to be talking about both games in this video and breaking down just a little bit of film to kind of show you what changed from the first game to the second game, which helped the Bulls really defeat the Orlando Magic by a big margin. But before we get into that, though, make sure you hit that like button if you're new around here. Hit that subscribe button. Let's get into this. So, as you can see in the first game, the Bulls lost by 4 points. I don't think this score tells the whole story, though. As you can see, though, when you look at the other numbers, the Bulls were out-rebounded by 9, which was a sincere problem throughout the entire game. Bulls were giving out way too many offensive rebounds, as you can see right here. The passing, I think, was still overall good, but and I thought the turnovers were also very low, which was good as well, which shows that this team is still taking steps forward. But the defense was horrible in this game. And a lot of people, and this was on the broadcast with Stacey King and Adam Amin, they were saying that the Bulls got off to a slow start offensively in this game that happened on Friday. But in my opinion, I actually think it wasn't the offense that got off to a slow start. I think the defense got off to a horrific start. And that's what led to the lead that the Orlando Magic got, which was a double-digit lead. I don't think the Bulls really started that slow offensively. I thought they started really slow defensively. And the reason why I say that is because there were just so many easy buckets for the Orlando Magic. AKA, let's just watch this play right here. If you're Daniel Gafford, you don't need to go this far down. Yes, you're supposed to help if you're the big man, but Kobe White stood in front of Cole Anthony this time. There's no need to help here. You're already way too far back. And if this is what you're supposed to do, then Patrick Williams needs to come up here to guard both these guys right here. But that's not what this defense is. Daniel Gafford's just way too far down right here, right? So this right here is just lack of awareness on defense. It's just, and this was happening all night with Vucevic. Vucevic killed us with 43 points, I think. And this was happening all night, and Vucevic got off to a really hot start and continued that throughout the entire game. So as you can see, way too wide open. You're closing out late, and that was all night again on Friday. But that type of stuff there, I think the Bulls go off to a really slow start defensively, aka that play that we just watched. Because remember, this team is one of the fastest teams in pace. If the Magic miss a shot, the Bulls are flying down and in transition, trying to get fast break points, right? And if they don't play good defense, then they're not going to get these transition opportunities. So I don't think that the Bulls' offense was that horrific as people were saying at the beginning of this game. I think the defense was just so bad that it made the offense look horrible because the Bulls' offense is so it has such a big staple of transition points, right? But let's look at some of the box score stuff. First off, I really thought that a good amount of the team just played very, very bad. Like below average. Like it wasn't even like some of these guys just played at a very, very subpar level, and I was very, very upset with them. Number one was Daniel Gafford. I think he was arguably the worst player for the Bulls in the first game. Kobe White, I thought, did not play well in the second half at all. I thought Garrett Temple was not good at all this game. The players that I thought played really well was obviously Patrick Williams. He was aggressive all night. I thought Markkanen was playing pretty solid before he got injured. And I thought Satoransky, I know it doesn't show up in the box score, but I thought he came in and played actually fantastic. And I think Denzel played pretty well as too. I personally thought, and this is going to be a big topic of this video, is that I thought Zach LaVine played actually really, really well this game. I don't know what it is about Bulls fans currently, but if Zach LaVine's scoring 50, they're saying to him, you're not passing the ball that much. But if he's distributing, they're saying that you're not shooting enough. So I thought because Zach LaVine did not take any bad shots at all through the first three quarters. He only took good shots, and he was 1 for 7 the first three quarters. To me, that tells me that he is not feeling it right now. He does not have a shot going. And if you watch that entire game, the first game, you saw that the Orlando Magic, no matter what was happening, they were just doubling Zach LaVine. And the Bulls were really big on running the pick and roll on Friday. So every time LaVine had the ball and was running the pick and roll, it was an immediate double. And it was that you had to throw out to Thaddeus Young. And while Thaddeus Young is a good player, can make shots, he's not Zach LaVine, right? So one of the biggest changes that happened from this game to then the game that happened today on Saturday. I'm going to show you the exact play that I think that was the definition of this game. First off, as you can see, the Bulls won by 26. It was a really good performance overall. Big thing to me is that they held a team under 100 points. The Magic only shot 38% from the field. Now, I will say that the Magic did help the Bulls with their defense because they were taking some pretty bad shots. Also, the three-point shot wasn't going down. Fournier was not available today, so that was also pretty big in my opinion. But here's the main thing I want to show you. So I think we all know by now Zach LaVine absolutely had an incredible game. I was telling people, though, if you look at my Twitter, at Duncan_White14, I was saying that, okay, look, Zach is probably going to come out tonight, and he's probably going to be so aggressive. But don't be upset at him with that because we saw him in the fourth quarter of this game go off for 24 points, right? He ended with 26 points, but 24 of those points were in the fourth quarter. He decided, I don't care if it's a good shot or a bad shot, I am going to attack this team and not run the pick and roll in the fourth quarter. So he was getting every single opportunity, like every single chance he could shoot, he was taking it, and he did a fantastic job in that game, and he almost won the game single-handedly himself. Now in this game, though, he came out and said, I'm not passing the ball that much tonight. And I'm going to show you a play that was a definition of tonight for Zach LaVine. Watch this play. So first off, the Orlando Magic, they're still double-teaming Zach LaVine if he runs the pick and roll, okay? So one of the things that I think Billy Donovan and LaVine started to notice is that no matter what LaVine does, unless it's a straight-up ISO, it's going to be a double on him, right? Watch as, this is Thaddeus Young right here. He's coming up to set a screen for Zach LaVine, right? And LaVine's right here. Watch what happens. Look, Young hasn't even set a screen yet, and Vucevic is up here, already up here at the three-point line, be in position to double Zach LaVine, right? This has been happening in both of these games, just nonstop. If it's a pick and roll with LaVine with the ball, it's an immediate double team. And that's the reason why he was passing it so much in the first game, was because he was getting double teamed left and right. There was no way he could score over two of those guys, right? So instead of running the pick and roll, you see Thaddeus Young goes away here. Now Patrick Williams comes up to like set a pick, but then LaVine kind of just like, nah, forget about it, right? So now with no screen being set, right, you see Zach is now about to ISO, right? And this is, I told people, Zach LaVine is going to ISO, okay? And you have to be okay with this if you want him to be aggressive and you want him to score. So right here, no screens being set, and this is too easy of a matchup for LaVine right here. Yes, does the ball, like, the ball isn't moving, right? And people have always been, like, critical of Zach LaVine, saying, hey, you need to pass the ball. Hey, you're a ball stopper. But if the defense is going to be doubling LaVine off of any single pick and roll action, or even when he's coming off a down screen, he's getting doubled, how else is he going to score? No one has told me how he's going to score over two guys consistently, right? So, in my opinion, I think this is great. He decided in this game, I don't care what's going to happen. Give me the ball. Don't set a screen for me. Don't bring anyone else to me. Let me take my matchup one-on-one. This is exactly what he did. Goodbye, Cole Anthony. You're way too slow. Blew right by you. Vucevic, you're too late. Dunk. That was the definition of this game. He said, I don't want to pick and roll. Don't have me come off screens. Let me ISO one-on-one. And he scored 39 points because of that today. He took 25 shots, and he had 2 turnovers, which I think one of them was on Denzel Valentine. But he only had 4 assists this game, and everyone's going to be already yelling at him like he doesn't pass the ball enough. I'm upset with Bulls fans that say that because the Bulls clearly need Zach LaVine to be aggressive for scoring-wise so this team can have success. We saw in this game that the Bulls offense, it did not come out as we wanted to. It came out a little bit slow, but I thought, again, it's because the defense was so bad. But the thing is that we saw LaVine be very distributive early. He was like, I'm not going to take my shots. I'm going to start distributing. And they were running so much pick and roll, and he was getting doubled so much. He was just passing the ball so much, right? In this game, though, he said, no, forget that. I'm going to come out and attack these guys, and I'm not going to run pick and roll. I don't want to get doubled tonight. And he didn't get doubled tonight, and every single opportunity that he got where he didn't have a double team thrown at him, right? It was an easy bucket for him. So I want to show you one more play. Oh, so here's another example of LaVine getting doubled, and this is in Saturday's game, right? Look, this is a pick and roll, and look how far up these guys are on him, right? And I would argue he gets triple teamed here. And look at what LaVine has to do. He's got every single player's attention on the Orlando Magic, and he's got Vucevic and Bacon on his hip all the way up here. Look, he's not even past the three-point line, right? Look, and now he has a swipe at the ball from Ennis. You got Cole Anthony right here. Now, this is what was happening so much, right? I was saying that LaVine was still aggressive, but this was just happening all night on Friday. So this happened again, and he decides, okay, if you're going to do that to me and put like basically 4 guys on me, I can make that pass. And he does make this pass. So I just don't understand right now with Bulls fans why you're hating on this man. This dude in this game was just getting doubled so much, and he was passing the ball, and everyone's like, he's not aggressive enough. And all I've heard from Bulls fans in the past 2 years is that, oh, LaVine is too aggressive. Oh, he takes too many shots. Why did it all of a sudden flip on just this one game? He still scored 26 and almost single-handedly won the game in the fourth quarter for the Bulls. And in this game, he came out and was like, all right, we're not going to run screen and roll. I am going to attack the defense by myself, and he put up 39 points. On really good efficiency, right? 16 to 25, 5 of 6 from three-point range. He still had 4 assists. He contributed also with 7 rebounds and only 2 turnovers. I don't understand the hate with Zach LaVine right now. And this is, I think, a major game for a couple of reasons. One, you saw in this game, the Bulls could not stop Vucevic. Vucevic was absolutely going insane in this game. 43 points, 19 rebounds, 4 assists, 17 to 29 shooting. This dude could not be stopped in the game on Friday, right? In this game, though, look at what they did. Only 17 points, shot much worse from the field, and only 8 rebounds, and only 24 minutes because the Bulls got up to such a big lead. But we saw in this game that they adjusted. First off, in this play right here that was killing the Bulls so much, they instead decided that they're going to actually kind of switch this. So they would have the big man, who is usually guarding Vucevic, really come over to take the guard, and then the guard will make sure that Vucevic can't pop all the way to the three-point line and get an easy shot. Now, let's say that the guard does throw it to Vucevic, then they make sure that they can, the defense is then going to make sure that they can get back to their own guy, or at least don't have make sure that they can get to different guys so that they don't have a serious mismatch happening all the time. Anytime Vucevic was in the post tonight, you saw the Bulls coming over and doubling him immediately. And Vucevic is not that good of a passer like an Anthony Davis or Nikola Jokic or Joel Embiid, right? He doesn't feel as comfortable when 2 guys are coming at him, and the Bulls would come at him in the double team in multiple ways. You would see sometimes Kobe White come from the top side and double him, but then we also saw with Arcidiacono a good amount of times that he would come and double him from the baseline, so it kept Vucevic on his toes, so he didn't know which way the Bulls are going to come and double him. So in general, though, the defense was just so much better. I thought Kobe White got absolutely destroyed in this game. I thought that Cole Anthony was just taking anything that he wanted. The pick and roll was just killing Kobe White. In this game, though, I think Kobe White did actually a really good job guarding Cole Anthony. And not only did he do a good job defensively, he got out of a shooting slump in the second half. He scored 13 points, and he was just absolutely on fire to start the third quarter. And to me, the reason why he got so on fire was because he was locked in defensively. If he's so locked in defensively, then his brain doesn't take possessions off, or he's not thinking about his last missed shot or whatever. He's just playing the game, and he made Cole Anthony work tonight, and that got him going on the other end as well. And you saw Kobe White hit a couple of shots in a row, and it was good to see him finally get back to where he should be, scoring. And then Patrick Williams had another great game. He had a good game in this game, but he just had another great game tonight. The Bulls ran Patrick Williams at the 4 tonight for most of the night, and I was a little bit concerned because Steve Clifford likes to run Khem Birch and Vucevic in the same lineup, and I don't really know why, but it kind of works because Vucevic is such a good shooter, right? But that would mean that Patrick Williams has to guard either Vucevic or Kem Birch. Both are centers, really. And Thaddeus Young was the other guy on the floor, the other big man for the Bulls. And Thaddeus Young is 6'7", right? 6'8". So I was kind of worried about the Bulls rebounding tonight. And as you can see, the Bulls did not get out-rebounded. There was a tide in the rebounding battle. But I was like, with Patrick Williams, I was really, really concerned because, while I do think Patrick Williams has an NBA-ready body, I was like, man, this doesn't exactly seem like the greatest idea because he's only 6'8". And the Magic killed us on the glass in the previous game. I was thoroughly surprised. Patrick Williams did a fantastic job rebounding tonight. He had 10 rebounds leading the Bulls. And he was really boxing out guys that were bigger than him. He had to box out Kem Birch tonight. He had to box out also Mo Bamba tonight because Bamba got some minutes. And he did a great job of boxing guys out and also making sure he got the rebound. So, thoroughly impressed with him. I overall think that even like a guy like Gafford, who only had like 2 points, I think every single player for the Bulls in this game that played did a great job tonight. And that's what needs to happen, right? Zach LaVine can go off for 40, at any given night, but he can't do it every single night. I think Zach needs to, change his mindset of he can't always be the distributor early, but I'm not exactly upset when he does, decide to distribute. But I think with this team right now, especially now with Wendell Carter Jr. out and Markkanen out, Zach LaVine needs to, instead of distribute early, he needs to just score early. And just him scoring is going to open up other opportunities for his teammates. Now, that does mean, though, the ball's not going to be moving as early, a lot in the early moments, right? Because we saw, and this has been happening for multiple games now, it's not just against the Magic, that anytime we see LaVine in the pick and roll, we see stuff like this one I'm about to show you, which I already showed here, but he gets doubled. He gets doubled so hard. And the reason why is because the other teams know that the other Bulls players, they aren't as good as him. The Bulls really don't have another shot creator on the team besides LaVine. So they were trying to force the other guys on the Bulls to make shots or create shots. And that's where the Bulls get in trouble, was because these guys aren't exactly that good at creating shots or finding their teammates or making decisions with the basketball besides LaVine. So the only way to combat that was that, and it showed tonight, is that if LaVine decides to ISO, and he can blow by his defender easily. Now, if the defense, if let's say he ISOs and then the defense comes over to help, he's already shown that he can make those passes to his teammates and get them the easy looks. So I'm not going to be so, upset if he doesn't end, with 6 assists like he's been ending with the past previous games. So he's averaging about 5.5 assists per game this year. But I won't be upset to see that go down because right now the Bulls need offense, especially with, 3 guys in the front court out. They need his offense, and I'm not going to be complaining if he takes a bunch of shots because the Bulls need it, and I'm not going to be complaining if he stops the ball moving because the Bulls need him to just ISO and go at his defender. Not only does LaVine need to set the tone for his team early, though, his teammates need to foul. Like in this game right here, everyone fouled him, right? Denzel Valentine had 20, and that's kind of crazy. He took some crazy shots, but at least Valentine was like, I'm going to, shoot when I'm open. I'm going to hit that floater if I have the chance. I'm not going to be afraid. I'm not going to be trying to force passes. And he was in the starting lineup tonight. So, to me, I'm like, this is good. If LaVine's going to set that tone, everyone else needs to foul, like Patrick Williams did today. 13 shots. How many times have we seen Patrick Williams take 13 shots in the game, right? So, that type of stuff needs to happen if LaVine's going to put up these types of numbers or start off the game hot or set the tone for the team. The others have to follow. For example, Satoransky came in, and him and Thaddeus Young in the pick and roll was amazing. That needs to continue. That needs to happen, especially if LaVine has it going, right? That's going to be there if LaVine is really hot right now and the defense can't stop him. Kobe White, he didn't come on until the second half, but at least he got to that point where he was starting to hit the shots. If LaVine has it going, Kobe White has to feast because that means the defense is going to be so onto LaVine that they're not going to be willing to rotate off of LaVine. That means Kobe White's probably going to be a guy that's going to get the open shot instead, and he needs to knock it down. So, overall, I think this was a measuring stick game, and it was a really important game because we saw what the Bulls had problems with in this game. There was some serious issues with Vucevic, but They made the right adjustments to make sure that Vucevic didn't get off to his hot start like he did last game. They limited the 3-point opportunities from the Magic in this game as well. And the most important thing to me is that the Bulls finally got a win against a playoff team in I don't know how many years, but the Magic were a playoff team last year. And now the Bulls finally got a win against a playoff team or a team that was in the playoffs in the previous season. So finally, this is really, really good. Or it's some stat like that where they finally got a win on the road against a playoff team or something like that. So this was a big step because this was a measuring stick, right? If you look at the standings currently, as you can see right now, the Eastern Conference is so bunched up. Even at the top right here, I would say that like these 4 teams right here are kind of bunched, and then 5 through really I would argue to 13. They're separated by 4 games, right? Even less, 3.5. So the Bulls right now have at least established themselves at the moment that they're not the Pistons, right? And I thought this game, though, was going to show if they were going to be like at the level of the Pistons. I'm not counting the Miami Heat right now in this area because the Heat have had to deal with COVID and Jimmy Butler's been out for a lot of games. So to me, though, this was a big measuring stick because let's say the Bulls lose both of these games, right? That means that they're worse than this Magic team that already has a bunch of starters out, and where do they fall next? Like we saw them beat the Wizards, but are we convincingly going to beat that team? But I think with them winning this game and showing that they can adjust from this game to then the next game against the same team, it puts them right here in the middle of the pack. Now, again, this is not supposed to be a playoff year, right? The goal, I guess, would be to make the playoffs, but that's not the main goal, right? It's about developing. And at least right now, we've seen that this Bulls team is probably not going to be a 500 team, but they can at least be around that area of like, we're only like 4 games under 500 instead of, double-digit games under 500. So I think this was a big measuring stick. I also thought the Western Conference road trip with the Lakers, the Clippers, and all those teams was also a big measuring stick. And I thought that was a success. And I think this game was also a success, seeing how much the Bulls changed from the first game to then the second game. Now, it's big, though, because now the Bulls have to play the Wizards on Monday. Just because you won against this team doesn't mean that you're going to beat this Wizards team easily when you face them on Monday, right? The Bulls need to come out and do exactly the same thing that they did tonight, which is limit the All-Star early. In this case, it could be Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook. They need to make sure that those guys don't get it going early, don't allow easy inside opportunities, and LaVine has to lead the charge, which I think he's done really, really well recently. He needs to lead the charge, and the others have to follow. It's one thing if LaVine leads the charge, but then if the others don't follow him, then there's a serious issue, right? He needs to come out and do the exact same thing, and I'm not going to be upset if he decides to ISO a lot, because I guarantee you Scott Brooks is going to be double-teaming LaVine if there's a pick-and-roll run, right? So I hope LaVine can come out and do exactly what he did against the Magic today. The others need to follow his footsteps and be as aggressive as him. And then on the defensive end, don't let Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook get going. Those two guys cannot get going for this Bulls team to win. So that's my thoughts of these 2 games that we saw against Orlando Magic. I think it is also time, though, for us Bulls fans to start thinking of the future with LaVine and not without LaVine. Now, I know a lot of Bulls fans are talking about Lonzo Ball, and his fit with this team would be great, apparently. I disagree. I don't think Lonzo really fits this team unless LaVine's actually traded. But I think it is starting to become that time, and I think AK, in the front office is starting to see that LaVine is a guy that can absolutely, not just score, but bring other things to the table and other things of value, right? Not only can he distribute, but then he can go off and score 24 in a quarter. That's rare, right? And I think it's now time for AK to start thinking, how can I build a team with LaVine, not build around him, but with LaVine, right? And it's going to be interesting to see what the Bulls do moving forward. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you got to this point in this video, you had to like something, right? So make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next Bulls video, probably Tuesday. Peace.